Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have a top 8 breakdown for our third weekly for the Fusion World FBO1 format. We have one more next week until we start going into FBO2, but these have been really fun, and I do appreciate everyone who stops by to not only play in the event, but also join the live streams for it as well. A couple of things before we get started. First, I do also want to thank Kaizoko Cards for being a sponsor for this event. First place does get access to one of these, so they've been able to get these really cool art leaders there. So thank you very much to Kaizoko for helping with these events as well. And then also to Brian for helping me stream the event, being commentary for this event, as well as Risu for being the judge for this event. Judge with parentheses since it's an online client, but just making sure that maybe tournament organizer is a better word for it. But we do have this event. It's 31 players, 5 rounds of Swiss on the online client for this top 8. And we do see 3 Vegetas, which is pretty surprising, 2 Beerus, 2 of the Frieza, and 1 of the Broly. So all star decks, and then 1 copy of the red Beerus. So really interesting with Beerus taking this event as well. Stevens won this tournament 2 out of the 3 times, and I think it's topped all 3 of them as well. So he's been doing really well with Beerus in itself. And we will see on the leader breakdown as well that we do see a good amount of Frieza. Frieza's like usually about a quarter of my tournaments at this point, but a lot of people are trying out the Vegeta itself. Beerus has been pretty popular. Like the rest of these, I think, are just generally understood and just kind of a bunch of one-ofs at the end as well. But that's what kind of brought into what people brought to this tournament as well. And let's quickly go over pretty much all of the XO or X1 deck list from this. So we're going to start off with our first place list, which is also our third place list, which is Steven and Madison's version of Beerus. Every week they play a little bit of a different build with it, which is really interesting. I think there are some like good tech choices for it, and there are some decisions for the deck itself. In general, it's a really good red deck, specifically against other red decks as well. I think the only issue with Beerus is that the Broly matchup is pretty abysmal at times, but it does get there sometimes. Some decision points and cards that are just some includes. I do like the 3-2 split between the Goku and Beerus. 5 drops here. Double Strike, I think, is still better than Critical by and large, but being able to just get a body that can get rid of several of your opponent's bodies have been pretty good, especially against Yellow. I think it's very strong for the deck as well. We do have our Son Goku. We do have the Secret Rare as well for, combination of removal and damage at your opponent. And then kind of on the low end, we have some decisions of like some Whis, some Roshis, some Krillins as well. Only 2 copies of Hit, which I really do like this card in the deck. I like running it forward, but maybe that's a little bit too much. Unless you're against Broly, you really don't have to like super duper awaken, so you can be a little bit more passive about it too. 2 copies of Fua, the Botama, which I strictly do like this card, being able to, just be a 20k body that your opponent has to like spend extra resources to get removal on is really neat, and I think helps the deck too. And then we do have like the Son Goku as well promo, which lets you be a 25k, which is really helpful against Broly. Just being able to have a 25k body for free is very nice in its own way too. So a good amount of variety there. I do like that. And then are just kind of like a 3-drop freeze. Like you can see like there's a lot of text where I'm just like, oh man, Broly's real bad. Let's give these, it's our 25k bodies, right? We were playing the Frost for the Yellow matchup, right? There's just a bunch of, interesting ratios and card choices that definitely have evolved, I'm sure, through the last couple weeks. So this is Steven and Madison's builds. Congratulations for their finishes there. And the next up we have Broly. So we have Aaron, who ended up getting second place, and spoilers, was very close to winning the event too. So it was in the finals there, but Broly is still a very great deck. I was kind of rooting for it a little bit because I'm like, oh, finally, Broly's gonna win an event of mine, but ended up being Beerus instead. But deck is what it is. You guys have seen what's been on ladder for the last couple of weeks in general. We were pretty much understood what we're looking for. I do like the Aandroidd 18 in the deck. I think it's a very strong card for cycling, and if your opponent doesn't get rid of this card, you do get like some advantage late game, and against every leader that's not yourself in the mirror match, it's a very helpful card, so I do like that. Only 4 copies of Vegeta and 2 copies of the Son Goku, which is a pretty interesting split there. This is a new card that we can play more than 1 copies with on the online client, since essentially they updated it so everyone gets 4 copies of it. So I do like the card itself. Is the 10k is very helpful for you. We have the Turles, we have the Son Gohan childhood, the 4 Gokus, the Instant Kamehameha, which I haven't been liking this card as much in Broly, but being able to 15k on a 5k leader means that we get some good numbers at times as well. And then just kind of a regular meteor, destructive strength. I'm surprised we're not playing, a couple copies of like Moed, since we are running a good amount of extras and the Paragus. But I don't know. It's really not as much of like what cards you're running in Broly right now. It's kind of like the ratios at some point, and honestly, it's still just a really, really good deck. So this is Aaron's build. Congratulations for their second place finish there. And the next up we have our Vegetas. So we got two Vegetas that are X1, and I also kind of want to go over them because they're kind of built a little bit differently too. So this is Javier's build here, which I would say is more kind of like a mid-range version of the deck. And then we also have over here Tyler's version, which is kind of like a low to the ground aggressive build of it too. So looking at Javier's build real quick though, it's just kind of what I would say I would approach the deck with, where I'm like, okay, we got some value cards. We got our 1-drops here. 1-drop Zamasu, I think, is like actually the best 1-drop that we have access to, especially in a deck like or kind of like in a color like blue, where you don't actually want to add more cards into your hand because you want to be at 7 or less cards. This still gets you like the card advantage without having to like draw the card, if that makes sense. So that's been really helpful for keeping my hand size 7 or lower, and also get some disruption on my opponent's side. We also have like the Pilaf, obviously great. Our Goten and Trunks for Self-Awakening. The Majin Buu just is a 20k vanilla, why not? Trunks Future, and then our Son Gohan and go up the chain there. There's also the 3-drop Vegeta, which I've been really I've been talking about it a lot. Like Broly's like a really strong deck right now, and so being able to have access to a 25k attacker that is a little bit tough to remove, but also being able to continually switch this card to active mode, I think is really nice. So the deck doesn't really have a hard time making those making that condition for it, and so I think that's really helpful as well, especially again against Broly, where they can't even attack into to try to remove it because you get to switch it to active mode again, which means red has a harder time to get rid of it at times. Yellow can rest it, but it's not too bad, and like blue can bounce it, but not too bad. I need to try this one a little bit more. Then their top end are Yajirobe and some extra cards, and Gallic Gun, Final Hope Slash, and Sinister Sickle as well. So again, I would say more of like standard build of like more just get value, build your board, and kind of standard gameplay. And then we also have again Tyler's version here, who ended up topping last week as well. But we do have this one where it's just very, very low to the ground, very aggressive, right? We have our 1-drops. We also have 7 1-drop 15Ks to get some pressure on the unawakened side. We do have Pilaf. We have Mai to get some quick awakening. Goten, and like you see what I mean, just really low to the ground in that sense. So we do play 4 copies of Vegeta just to kind of end the game at some points. Like Double Strike is very good, even though it might be a little bit expensive there, but it is there. And then Gallic Guns and Final Hope Slash, which this can be good for removal at times. You can get some loopiness with it, and then Gallic Gun is just a very good extra card as well. So very good stuff. I think the deck is maybe not as much my playstyle, but it's very aggressive, and it can really go off on there too. So that's the build from Javier and Tyler. And to wrap it up, we do have Daniel's version of Frieza here, and it's an interesting build too. We do run both the Cooler and the Frieza. I think most builds are kind of leaning towards one or the other. And strictly for Frieza, I think Cooler is a bit of the better 4-drop, but I think both are good in their own right. Only 2 copies of Ginyu. I'm not sure if it's just don't have copies of it, but it is strong for being able to extend your plays, since we do have so many of our Frieza armies. We still play the Raccoon combo. We have like the 2-drop Frieza here. This is just something to play off Zarbon, which sometimes I just miss with Zarbon too, which is really good to be able to get this. We can, if we get like awakened early, activate main, switch to rest mode, play a 1-cost Frieza army, and then we can like unrest it later. So that's not too bad for us. It just doesn't get value until like later, but being able to like play this on 2, kind of wait on it, and then play something on 3 can help you there. I think Zarbon and our needs to help get us some self-awakening, and then 2 copies of Supernova, which I do think this card is good against red specifically. Being able to lock down like their 3-drop Gokus is really strong because we don't really have a great way to remove them otherwise. And then the Crusher Ball I don't know if I need more cards to rest, since I usually like playing like the 4 of the 1 Frieza, but it is some early cycle if we need it as well, since that is important for the deck too. So a really unique build. I think this is an interesting one, and congratulations to Daniel for their finish there. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Again, thank you guys for coming out. If you guys want to see the live stream, is going to be on my YouTube and Twitch for members and subscribers respectively, linked in the description, and it will be re-uploaded this weekend if you guys want to see the individual matches as well. So thank you guys there. Thank you again to Brian and Risu. Thank you to Kazoku Cards for sponsoring this, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week for our 4th one, and probably final one for FBO1 as well. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.